All is not right in MAGA world this morning. After being deluged on social media for busing thousands of fans to Coachella, but then not providing return buses, Old Trump took to rage tweeting this morning in an attempt to change the narrative. Trump was rage posting about the release of The Apprentice, a feature film detailing his bizarre, dull-witted, and inappropriate behavior on the reality TV show that brought him fame. Then he also rage tweeted about Kamala before finally turning to the Department of Justice, which is finally doing its job and preventing more voter suppression. On Friday, the Justice Department sued Virginia election officials for following Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin's request to strike names from voter rolls. The problem here is removing voters from voting rolls now is in direct violation of federal law. Youngkin and his administration know all too well the National Voter Registration Act imposes a 90-day quiet period requirement, which prevents states from removing voters from the voting rolls within 90 days of an election. Youngkin and his cronies are fully aware of the law preventing them from what they are doing, but they went ahead and started breaking the law anyway. Why? Well, to cheat, naturally. But there is way more going on here than just cheating. Youngkin's team know that Old Trump is toast. It's doubtful he's going to win this election legally. And even though the campaign and the RNC have invested tens of millions of dollars building infrastructure to steal the 2024 election, that's likely to fail as well. But even if Trump does get installed as president, he's not going to last. He's another Big Mac away from a heart attack. He's most likely suffering skin poisoning from all that orange makeup. And he's just way too demented to escape the 25th Amendment. Youngkin is positioning himself to become the next leader of the MAGA movement. And I want to just take a moment here and ask you to think about that for one moment. Can you imagine being 9 years old and having people say to you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And you say, "I want to be the head of the MAGA movement. I want to be king of the crazies, emperor of the idiots, monarch of the morons, and tycoon of the trolls." But yes, Youngkin is following a playbook here. Be a faithful Trump ally, do Trump's bidding, defy the government while you do Trump's bidding, and then weep loudly when Trump is gone. But assure everyone you are ready to take the helm in his absence. Sounds a lot like the history of Scientology, doesn't it? No surprise, they're both cults. Well, Trumpy was upset that Merrick Garland decided the DOJ should get involved in this slow-moving government takeover, and he let his little fifis known this morning by rage posting, claiming that the government was plotting to install illegal voters in Virginia ahead of Election Day. He also posted, "Obviously this was done so they can cheat on the election. So sad. What has happened to our once great country?" You'll notice that Trump asked what happened to the country and not what happened to the rule of law. In elections past, the DOJ has not been fast enough getting involved in voter suppression. It is encouraging to see that with this election, they are active and engaged. But make no mistake about it, purging voter rolls is not the only voter suppression tactic that the GOP will be employing. They have invested in the whole arsenal of dirty tricks. A Michigan Republican is being accused of misleading black voters in a print ad that shows the wrong election date. And robocalls giving the wrong date is a favorite of the Republican Party. They have an army of precinct workers who will be challenging voter registrations at the precinct on Election Day, and they started in 2020 getting their people installed in election supervision. Republicans play dirty because they know the majority of voters disagree with them on every signature issue. And this year, they're going to go beyond playing dirty. This year, they are going to stop at nothing to steal the election. They're going to lie, cheat, and defraud, all so they can shred the Constitution and install fascism in its place. It's our job to prevent it from happening. It's not enough to ask people you know if they're voting for Harris. Though, trust me, that's a great place to start. You also have to ask the people you know to check their registration now and make sure they haven't been purged. And no, the irony is not lost on anyone that Putin's puppet is partial to purges. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.